What is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be breaking down Tua Tagovailoa's rookie season with the Miami Dolphins and really analyze, why he had somewhat of a disappointing season. The narrative on Tua right now, is that he's trash. Is that the Dolphins want to move on from him already, and they don't have faith in him, right? And he could be moved on from as early as this off season, which is wild for a rookie top 5 pick. But I hate narratives. I hate just looking at box scores to make an opinion, right? So I wanted to figure out Tua for myself. And boy, did I learn a lot. Coming out of college, we knew that Tua, he wasn't seen as an elite prospect. We knew that his arm strength was below average, and he was propped up by a super talented roster. He was deemed a system quarterback by many people, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm going to take you through 5 main aspects of Tua's rookie season that caused him to look worse than Dolphins fans had hoped, and I'll explain how they or any team can maximize Tua's talents and still get great quarterback play, because it's not like Tua is broken or a bust. So let's break down the film, because the film don't lie. So let's start with the mental game, and I think this has always been a strength of Tua's. He drew a lot of comparisons to the great Drew Brees, someone who has always had a limited arm, but was consistently one of the most efficient quarterbacks because of how he could read NFL defenses and pick them apart. I was impressed with the full field reads that Tua could make, but what really stood out to me the most was how he dissected defenses that used misdirection and blitzes in particularly. This is usually the toughest aspect for young quarterbacks to master, but Tua did great. Here he recognizes the nickel blitz and tells the running back to go across the formation to pick it up. He knows he has the numbers advantage with the safety capping late, so it's an easy pitch and throw for the first down. I can't stress enough just how impressive this is from a rookie quarterback. How Deshaun Watson struggled with these nickel blitzes up until this season. For Tua to do this against the Rams and Brandon Staley, wow. They've tried it a lot throughout the game, but Tua was ready for it every single time and made the Rams pay. I love how he always has his head on a swivel, up until the last second before the snap. He's not going to get tricked by the late rotation, and the Rams just gave up on trying these blitzes altogether because it was hurting them more than helping them. Even when there was a free rusher, Tua was able to get the ball out quickly into the open man. This is much more difficult than it looks. Tua just makes it look easy and has some of these rare moments where he looks like a 10-year vet. This is a skill set that usually takes years to learn, and some quarterbacks never even learn it throughout their entire career. So the fact that Tua already has this down is huge for his success. Another thing that makes guys like Brees so great is he knows how to not take sacks. Tua was 15th highest out of 36 quarterbacks in sack percentage, which isn't bad for a rookie, but it was something that held that offense back. However, there's a lot of variables that go into a sack, and it's important to determine who was really responsible for allowing the sack. So looking at every single sack Tua took, the majority came when his offensive line allowed really quick pressure and no one was open at the top of his drop. Time and time again, he would be screwed over so quickly and not even given a fair chance. Tua was put into a pretty horrible offensive situation with the Dolphins and needs better protection to succeed going forward. The Saints understood this sentiment, and it's why throughout Brees' entire career they continued to invest heavy draft capital into the line to make his job easier. Give Tua the same treatment and he can be great too. Now, he wasn't completely blameless. There were 3 times where he missed an open receiver because he was looking elsewhere. And I chalk those up to, typical rookie struggles. But what's wild is how many of these sacks came from just 4-man rushes where the Dolphins had the numbers advantage. That Dolphins O-line, particularly their tackles and left guard, were straight pylons, just traffic cones out there, getting easily blown by. Then there was also one time where, I thought he could have anticipated this throw and got it off before the sack, but only 4 of his 20 sacks were really bad missed reads. That's pretty damn good for a rookie quarterback, and again speaks to how advanced he is at reading defenses. The other thing to look at within the mental game is Tua's interceptions. He had the 26th lowest interception percentage, which is damn good for a rookie. And a big part of that is because, the Dolphins didn't ask him to do too much, but also because of how Tua diagnoses defenses and doesn't force the issue. And even looking at his 5 interceptions, 3 of which came in one game, I would only say that 2 of them were, really poor decisions. And I'd chalk these up to just silly rookie mistakes that he'll instantly learn from. One interception was also because his wide receiver tripped and led to a big pick 6. Another interception was a throw that hit the wide receiver right in the hands. Yes, it was a bit high, but that's a catchable ball. The only interception that you can really get mad at him for, in my opinion, was when he just never even saw Justin Simmons underneath on this one. But that wasn't a consistent theme throughout his film, so I'm not worrying about it really. And his last interception was an overthrow, which it does look really bad. But misses this far off also weren't a reoccurring issue over the season. But it does lead to my next points. And what made Drew Brees so elite is his accuracy. He was pinpoint accurate, and that made up for his lackluster arm. Pairing that with his mind was what made that Saints system work so damn well, because they could be efficient without needing to take the top off the defense that often. However, we haven't seen that same striking efficiency from Tua so far. He ranked 5th in the NFL in catchable passes. However, he was 31st out of 36 quarterbacks in on-target percentage. What this essentially means is that, majority of his throws were close to their target, they were catchable, but they weren't placed very well to make it easy on his wide receivers. Tua had pretty solid fundamentals and technique in college, and he still does now, but there are some things he can clean up, and I would be confident in most quarterback coaches ironing out these kinks. In particular, his hips are pretty inconsistent right now. He doesn't always turn them all the way and point them to his target. Because he cuts off his rotation a bit short, he can't follow through all the way and leaves the ball off target. Again, these are catchable passes, but they aren't necessarily on target and easy for his wide receivers. On this throw, Parker has a nasty inside release, and Tua needs to lead him more inside and away from the cornerback. But instead, Tua puts it outside, making it harder on Devontae and easier for the cornerback to recover. Now, I'm not saying Tua's accuracy will always be mediocre. He's thrown some super accurate passes and has great touch, as shown through these fade balls. He knows it needs to be high and to the outside where only his guys can get it. He just needs the right quarterback coach to fix his fundamentals with his hips. So he's not just purely throwing with his arm, which causes an over-adjustment and makes it much harder to be accurate. Whichever team employs Tua should be patient with him and give him more than essentially 7 games to prove himself. We've known that Tua doesn't have the arm strength and measurements of a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert. That's not who he is, and that's perfectly fine. But let's talk about the physical aspect of Tua and really dive into the conundrum that is his arm. Since he doesn't have a cannon, it is harder for him to drive the ball deep down the sideline and be accurate at the same time. However, we saw at Alabama that he can still be an effective deep ball thrower if he has the wide receivers with the right skill set. He's not going to be a Deshaun Watson or Justin Herbert who can put the ball exactly where it needs to be down the sideline for a Nuke Hopkins or Mike Williams to go high point it. He needs to lob it up and have his speedy guys run under it and adjust if it's not the most accurate ball. However, we rarely got to see that with Miami because their outside wide receivers, Devontae Parker and Preston Williams, are more of the possession type wide receivers who win like Nuke and Mike, with physicality and body control, not speed and separation like a Ruggs and Devontae Smith. So on a play like this where Preston Williams wins inside and is boxing out the smaller cornerback, Tua needs to throw it on a rope and lead him inside to make this an easier catch. But he doesn't have that arm strength and ball placement for that. So he does what he did in college and lobs it up instead. While Tua didn't have success deep down the sidelines, there's ways to improve his deep game pretty easily. For one, look at this throwing chart. At the short and intermediate ranges, he would always prioritize throwing in the middle of the field, and he was much more accurate there. However, his deep throws were more spread out and attacked the sidelines instead of the middle. This was a poor use of Tua's skills because the Finns should have known he wouldn't be able to throw lasers down the sideline. They should have seen the success he had at Bama throwing deep down the middle on posts and looked to replicate that more at the NFL level. The rare times he did target deep down the middle of the field, he had great success. He had enough arm strength to make the throw because it covers less distance. On top of the velocity, he was more accurate up the seams too. This is one of the best throws I've seen all year out of any quarterback. And yes, it was lucky. Yes, it was basically into triple coverage, but he put this ball on the money, and it took a superhuman leap by the defensive back to get close to the ball. Again, Tua can be a more accurate quarterback if he's not forced to drive the ball deep down the sideline to possession wide receivers. He can still pick up chunk plays, but more so over the middle of the field. He throws this post beautifully, right behind Tyrann Mathieu and in front of the safeties so they can't make a play on it. Something that drastically needs to be addressed by Tua's future team is the personnel around him. While he didn't have great chemistry with many of his weapons, largely because their skill sets weren't a match, he was money with Mike Gesicki. I love how he manipulates the safeties on this throw. It's a middle of field open call, so pre-snap, Tua's already thinking about Gesicki up the seam. However, if he stares it down, one of these safeties could catch on and jump it. So he looks to his left at first, holding the safety in place and keeping this window open for Gesicki. That is beautiful. They created a good chemistry together, and on this rollout, Tua's first two reads were covered, but he finds Gesicki open after his block and release. Gesicki became Tua's favorite target as the season went on, and if the Texans end up trading with Miami, I would bang the table to add him to the trade as well. I see him as the tight end of the future and a great mismatch weapon. I talked about it before, but the rest of the weapons on Miami just didn't fit Tua's style. He isn't completely comfortable in throwing to wide receivers who look covered and just trusting that they'll win at the catch point. He does it occasionally, but this play illustrates what he's more confident in doing. Sometimes he'll go off his first read if they aren't wide open and make a tougher throw instead. As he scrambles, he has Devontae Parker, who, with a well-placed ball, is definitely open. However, he makes a cross-body throw instead, a much tougher throw. Because this running back has more separation, he's more open to him. He's been like this his entire career. With Alabama, he had Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle, all guys who would get open at ease, with speed, agility, and separation. So Tua didn't have to throw them open or anticipate throwing windows as much. But the Dolphins don't have a top guy like that. Getting the right types of wide receivers around Tua is going to be pivotal for his success moving forward. The last thing I want to talk about is the scheme that the Dolphins ran for Tua and what system can really work best for him. The Dolphins did do some things well. Tua's first throw of his NFL career was a perfect example of how he operates best. Move the pocket for him, create easy throws by shifting the defense in the opposite direction, and keep it simple. Incorporate bootlegs off of a strong run game and Tua will pick you apart down the field. He excelled at Bama with the quick game and RPOs as well, which puts defenses in a conflict of assignment and creates easy to find throwing windows. Tua is an artist on these and even uses his eyes and body language to manipulate defenses to his advantage. It's awesome to watch him shift his shoulders and act like he's throwing to the flat. This moves the safety out of position and creates an easy throw to Gesicki. The other area Tua excelled in was when the Dolphins went 5 wide. This is something the Texans and Tim Kelly have done with Deshaun Watson and helped put him in a position to succeed as well. So, if he does end up as the Texans quarterback, Kelly can tap into even more of that 5 wide system and help Tua out big time. Spreading out the defense and creating more throwing windows to get the ball out quickly is exactly how Tua can lead a top offense. Miami wasn't great at this because these spread schemes, they rely on guys who can get yak, and only Lynn Bowden was good in that area. The rest of the wide receivers held back the potential of that offense. That system, with Tua running it and the right pieces, can definitely be successful. So I'm tired of people saying system quarterbacks are bad. Every quarterback needs some sort of a system and should have a good situation around them to help prop them up. Let's stop using the Mahomes has a great situation argument as an excuse and start making it the norm. There aren't any quarterbacks who can carry a team on their own. For as elite as Deshaun Watson is, the Texans still only won 4 games. Stop expecting instant domination out of these young rookie quarterbacks. Give them time to develop and surround them with the play calling and weapons to suit their strengths, plus an offensive line to keep them comfy. Is Tua the perfect quarterback? Absolutely not. Does he have the ceiling of Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, or even Sam Darnold? No. But that doesn't mean he can't be a successful quarterback who can lead a team to a Super Bowl. Sure, he needs a great situation around him, but every quarterback deserves a great situation. Wins are not a quarterback stat. You need a complete team to compete with the best. Don't give up on Tua because he was put in a shitty situation. He's got all the intangibles you could want in a franchise quarterback. He just needs some more help on offense. Alright, that's going to do it for the video. Shout out to all the Texans Thoughts team members. If you want to join the team, the link is in the description. You get exclusive monthly videos, all of my NFL draft content, blooper vids. You get some videos early, plus access to my exclusive Discord. If you want to ask me anything, talk ball and even play some Among Us games. The link is in the description. Appreciate your support nonetheless, but definitely check it out. Alright, take care everyone. Come back for more, and remember, the film don't lie.